to the first Team Fantasy podcast. Schiff and Derek back again.
Hmm.
We finally got real football, guys. Tomorrow at 5:20, the Ravens are going into Arrowhead to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. The over/under in this one is 47 points, which we love that point total, and the Chiefs are favored by 3. So it should be a really, hopefully tight game. At least Vegas thinks so. Um, However, the last time these two teams met up, granted, it was the AFC Championship game. Last year, we had the number one and the number two scoring defenses taking each other on. However, on the Chiefs side of the ball, they lose L'Jarius Sneed. On the Ravens side of the ball, they lose Patrick Queen, just a couple of big names showing that these are not the same exact defenses copy paste from last year. So we could have a bit of a different game. That being said, I still like it's the first week, so we can't be you're not really spot starting anybody based on like
Hmm.
the defenses last year. We know what the Ravens run defense was. It's still very good. Still starting Isaiah Pacheco might not have the best week, but it is what it is. It's week 1. I think the guys that we drafted to start Lamar, Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers, um, Patrick Mahomes, Isaiah Pacheco, Rashi Rice, Travis Kelsey, we are starting all those guys without
Yep.
hesitation. And Derrick Henry, of course. But
Yeah,
so yeah,
I was just gonna say Xavier Worthy's the only one where, if possible, I'm leaving him on the bench week one just to see how it plays out. They did draft him early, but we know the Chiefs. Noah Gray might get in the end zone before Xavier Worthy does this season, and I wouldn't be surprised by it. It's just one of those risks that you take. So I'm letting Xavier Worthy get his footing a little bit before I throw him into the lineup.
yeah, and it's just hard to say that following what we saw at the end of last year with Rashi Rice and just all the rumblings out of camp that he is the guy. While Worthy might be good for a long touchdown, it is within the cards. It's just kind of scary to have to start that week 1 relying on that huge boomer bust kind of outlook.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's just I'd feel more comfortable with him on my bench. But if you want to call your shot, go ahead and start him like at your flex. I feel a bit more comfortable than like at my wide receiver 3 or 2 position.
Yeah, no, I mean, and it's really just that simple. And I mean, that's really all I had for that game. The other game is the Packers and the Eagles in Brazil on Friday, which should be a very interesting game. I believe the over under is 48.5, where the Eagles are favored by 2.5, which is kind of crazy because technically, if they're playing at a neutral site, do they give the Eagles still 3 on the spread because they're technically the home team, or no? Do we know?
I I don't know honestly because obviously it's a very neutral site and not even in the same country.
I would assume they don't, because I just can't imagine week one they come in and say the Packers are technically favored to beat the Eagles. I
Yeah,
mean, they
and I
could
mean,
have. I just feel like that would be kind of crazy.
yeah, and it's just after the end of last year, the way the Eagles season ended, the way the Packers season ended,
Yeah.
one ended on obviously disappointing yet still high note. They Packers should have very well made it to the NFC Championship game, whereas the Eagles got smashed in the first round by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So just coming off of that, I mean, as we know, Eagles lose Jason Kelsey,
Mm-hmm.
but that being said, I think it's kind of neutral point spread as well.
Yeah.
Um, it's kind of just we'll see, kind of like with the Ravens and Chiefs, that 3 point spread, 2.5 points. It's not really too much in either direction.
Yeah. And it's, again, like we said, week one, we haven't even seen these guys play, but you have your obvious starts. You're starting Jordan Love. You're starting Josh Jacobs. I'm only comfortable starting Jaden Reed week one for the Packers. I want to wait, unless you're in deeper formats, obviously, but I want to wait and
Yeah,
see Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs. I want to see those guys play. I want to see how Musgrave looks week one for the Packers as well. And then, I mean, the Eagles are, I mean, their guys are obvious smash starts with Jalen, Saquon, AJ Brown, and Devonta Smith. Dallas Goddard, you're gonna have to sit on the sideline. You should be rostered, but you're gonna have to be on the sideline week one.
yeah. I just believe like depending on if you're in a 10 or 12 man, I think there were 10 better tight ends than Dallas Goddard that
Mm-hmm.
should have been drafted on each of the 10 teams. So I don't really see much. Like I said, depending on your league format, don't see too much of a need to start Dallas Goddard this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, here we go, guys. We
Mm-hmm.
finally made it. It is football time. A bit shorter of an episode today, but just wanted to get those little previews out for you guys. We'll be back on, I think it was Saturday,
Yep.
with the recaps of the Thursday and Friday night games, as well as the previews for our Sunday games. Yeah, great to be back.
It's
Thank you
exciting.
guys for being back with us. It is very exciting. And yeah, come back next time. Take more reps with the first team.
Yes, sir.